What's up, Internet? I'm Aries Van Dam. How y'all doing? Today, I'm going to do part 2 because I promised y'all that I would do it. So I will be doing part 2 of Naima versus Andrew Wilson. It was a total beatdown. The first day, it was so brutal. I got to be honest, these things give me a headache because when Andrew's talking, you have to devote a lot of hard drive space to focusing. And these dumb bimbos just are not capable of doing it. Like, it's just not in the strumpet DNA, I don't think. But they short circuit. So it's really funny to watch. But when you're trying to follow along, yeah, they can give you a headache whenever it's just being repetitive nonsense like this. God, that man is a saint. I'm going to say it again. He should be like a high school teacher or something. It's just insane how he navigates these trumpets. So let's get into it, and let me turn the music down. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a little bit of this, maybe an hour or so, and hopefully that'll be it for this video. I don't want to have to ever deal with this airhead ever again because it was just painful to watch. So let's get into it. I think there's some more good stuff in this. I haven't seen it in a couple days now, so it'll almost be like we're watching it fresh because my mind doesn't keep things for long. So let's check it out. Oh.
You're not a consequentialist?
Andrew, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Pasty George.
I just wanted to clarify, you're not a consequentialist?
We talked about this in the last debate. If you don't remember, you can look at it again.
Okay.
All right.
Pasty George donated $1,000. For you, Andrew, you deserve it, especially for putting up with the retardedness.
Pasty George, please come watch my channel. Jesus.
So Pasty, just to clarify, do you want us to pop a ball of champagne? Do either of you want?
I don't want champagne, no.
Can we have it after the debate? Because I can take some later. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want some now.
I guess I'll just...
This bitch wants a doggy bag full of champagne to go home with.
Drink most of the bottle then. All right, a few...
Brian, are you just going to drink an entire bottle of champagne?
I'm actually... I don't really drink. I'm a bit of a lightweight, so probably not. But maybe I'll have... If I'm throwing up in the bathroom, I'll have Jake step in as the moderator.
Oh, good God.
For the rest of the show.
Okay.
I know Jake does come later, but I fell asleep by that point. But I do have a video I'm working on Rattlesnake Jake because I really like his content, especially some of the stuff he's been doing on Israel. So I've got a video in the works for him. I'm just trying to work on a thumbnail for it.
Okay, so those are the Q&As. Let me just double check. All right, we are good to get right back into it. So we were considering as the next prompt, feminism lies about the benevolent nature of men. Andrew wanted to do that one. How's that sound for you?
Cool.
Okay, perfect. We'll get right into it.
Okay, Andrew, if you wanted to do that one, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, so when I'm referencing the benevolent nature of men, I'm referencing that men can, at any time they want, take the rights away from women, and there's nothing that women can do about it, and the opposite is not true, and therefore I believe that men are benevolent, and there should be gratitude shown for them not doing that.
Wait, so you do believe that men are benevolent? So then how is feminism lying about the benevolent nature
because
of men?
Because feminism is saying that men are not benevolent, that men are the oppressor class.
And you're saying that men are benevolent.
Yeah.
She's pretending like she doesn't know standpoint theory. She's in college for it. I'm sure she probably knows all about it, but she's got to play dumb here. Like, oh no, feminism, they want women and men to be equal. That's why we give women rights men don't have. What?
Yes.
Based on the fact that you could rape someone and then you choose not to.
Based on the fact that...
kind of the bare minimum, no?
Yeah. Can you repeat back my position so that I know you understand it?
No, Andrew, why don't you just repeat it if you feel like you want to?
I want you to steel man it so I know you understand it.
No, Andrew, I'm not going to steel man.
Because she
I don't
didn't
know
pay
where to go
attention.
with that, Brian.
Just give me your opinion again.
I just gave it. What do you want me to do here? I just gave her the position. She won't steel man it.
Then say it again.
This is the face of a man who is debating a chicken, a literal chicken, not someone who's afraid, a literal chicken that just makes no sense and just clucks. That's all she's doing this whole debate. And it's got to be just brutally frustrating for Andrew because it's giving me migraines. I can only imagine what he's got to take when he gets done with this to strumpet.
Again.
Okay. So one more time,
Sure.
women, in this case feminists, consider men to be malevolent oppressors. Men are the oppressor class, the patriarchy. And it's actually through the benevolence of men that women have rights, and I think women should be grateful to men that they have rights.
And how are you defining rights in this instance?
I would consider rights to be a set of preferences that are shared between people.
Okay, set of shared preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, yeah, so just reading that back. Men are benevolent because they could kill women, but they choose not to,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
But that's kind of the bare minimum. Like anyone is
Yeah,
benevolent.
that's just
in
an
that sense.
assertion. Can you substantiate that?
I mean,
What makes it the bare minimum?
And even if it's the bare minimum, would that make it not true? Still not being done. So you still can call it benevolence if they could easily do it and they don't, because women can't do it, or they probably would, considering abuse rates with people that are weaker than them, just higher in women than men. So I think, yeah, he's right. It is benevolence because we choose not to do that. We even make our own laws before y'all could vote. We made laws to protect y'all. We didn't make laws to enslave y'all. And you just admitted we could. So
anyone can commit an act of violence against someone that is smaller than them, and we all every day choose not to. I don't think
Yeah,
that
that's not an
benevolent.
argument. Can you give me
I
an
mean,
argument?
Yeah, my argument is that I don't necessarily agree with your definition
That's
of
not an
benevolence,
argument.
But that, well, we just had an hour-long debate over definitions, so now
So
you're
then
opposed to that when it's your definition.
Do you want to
that's
define
being-
benevolent?
I mean, honestly, in terms of the premise, I do agree with you that men are benevolent, but I don't agree that benevolence is simply choosing not to commit acts of harm against others.
why are they
Really?
benevolent?
Because I thought your entire moral stance was about not committing acts of harm against others, and that's what the good is.
Yeah,
So then
but that's kind
that
of
would
the
mean that
bare
then that would mean men are
minimum,
good.
Andrew. No, I mean, good is proliferating positive acts.
No, that's not what you said.
I think it's a moral
not what you
neutral.
said.
I think it's objectively morally neutral.
Objectively morally neutral.
Well, oh God, not the word objective. Never mind. Cut that one. I think it's just morally neutral. To decide not to kill someone is a moral neutral. You
Okay.
haven't done something
Can you
good.
give
You haven't
me-
done something bad. You've done nothing.
Okay, then can you substantiate what moral neutrality is?
Moral neutrality is when you haven't done something that is good or bad.
Okay, so and what are we considering bad here from your argument?
Bad would be the proliferation of human suffering.
And this would mean then that since men are not proliferating human suffering, they're not doing anything bad, right?
Yes, but then the opposite of proliferating human suffering would be proliferating something that is beneficial to mankind.
Like women's rights?
But you've done nothing.
Wait, like
it's a zero.
Wait, like
it's a net
wait,
zero.
Like women's rights?
So you don't think that women had any stake in defining their rights?
That's not contending with the argument.
You don't think that like civil
That's not
disobedience is a way to
contending
fight
with
for
the
rights?
argument. That's asking a question.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it is
giving you a
contending with
formal
the
argument.
You're saying that men just decided unilaterally
No.
one day that they were going to give women rights, but that's
Yes.
not what happened.
Well,
because
hang on.
we know historically there were multiple waves of feminism.
That's exactly what happened. How did you get it? She thinks that they all voted. I remember that part. She thinks that there was some kind of big vote and everybody turned out and it was like a election time thing where everybody just went and voted. She thought that's what happened. And she's in school for this. Andrew's not. He was into school for robots. This guy who went to school for robots is schooling the girl on her own major.
Uh-huh.
in which women participated in civil and civil disobedience in order to be awarded.
Yeah, and my
those rights.
argument is that if men chose to collectivize to stop whatever their collective disobedience was, it would have been stopped.
Okay, so you think that men are good because they could choose to murder all women and they don't?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And not only that, but that they're benevolent.
Do you want a cookie? Yeah, that's true. I agree.
They're benevolent. Men
I'll take a cookie because I know you don't know how to make them. You just go to a vending machine. That's where you think cookies come from.
I don't think that
Thanks, feminism.
all men
then
are
that means
benevolent.
that feminism.
But there are tons of men who do commit
Yeah,
acts of
so
violence,
when
and there are
fem-
tons of women who do commit
yeah,
acts
so
of violence, and
when-
those women and men are not benevolent.
So then when feminists claim that the patriarchy is evil and malevolent, you would claim the patriarchy is malevolent.
no,
benevolent.
wait, that I would claim the patriarchy is
Benevolent. You would claim it's benevolent.
So there we go. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that I'm claiming the patriarchy is malevolent or benevolent?
I'm asking, is the patriarchy malevolent or benevolent?
No, I believe
She's trying to make a big deal. He misspoke and then he corrected it. She's so stupid.
Perpetuating inequality is malevolent, but that doesn't mean that all men are inherently malevolent.
Well, how does the patriarchy
I mean, the
advocate for
patriarchy
inequality?
is a system
Yeah.
of inequality
Run
on
by
the
who?
basis of gender that is run by men.
Okay. So those
Yes.
men are evil?
I think that if you are attempting to perpetuate inequality through the oppression of others,
Yeah.
that is a morally bad action.
And how's the patriarchy doing that?
The patriarchy is perpetuating inequality of women by, denying them the right to vote, denying them.
Didn't they give them the right to vote?
Well, they didn't give them. It was one.
Well,
It was one. It was one, meaning an election.
no, again, unfortunately, just seconds ago, you agreed with me
Yeah,
that
I
if
do
men,
agree
hang
with
on,
you.
that if men wanted to take away the rights of women to vote, they could. By that logic, then, if the patriarchy could have taken away their right to vote and did not, how could they be anything less than benevolent? Didn't they equalize voting between men and women?
Yeah.
Unfairly.
Then how could you say that
But the
they're in some way
patriarchy isn't what equalized voting between men and women. It was women's struggle that is what granted women the right to vote.
No, it was men who did not get in the way.
Women couldn't vote. So whoever passed this was men. She keeps trying. There's no way to rationalize around that. If women couldn't vote, and now they can because in her mind there was an election, which it was actually done in Congress, and they made an amendment, which she's in school for, and she doesn't know, and she's on a podcast debating in front of the entire world. Isn't it great that women get opportunities like this to show how stupid they are? Isn't it great? Like you could have gotten a man on there, and it would have been a fair debate. Probably would have gone back and forth, but it would have been interesting. But women don't have to do that. Because look at her. She thinks she's pretty, so she doesn't need that. She'll just get a bunch of followers on Instagram and then try to parlay that into a job on CNN. That's her path. She sees it already.
And went ahead and granted it because they could have taken it whenever they wanted.
Well,
right?
I don't think that every man is an inherent, master of the.
Or she'll be on the sidelines talking about the last play as if she knows anything about football. That's the other option she has. She could probably do that. She's probably put on a little weight, but in a couple of years she could do that too, because they just let these dumb airheads do that. Because women, it's all about what you look like, so you can get mad later about how men all just objectify you. But you wouldn't be there if you look like me, because you don't get an opportunity when you look like me. You only get it when you look like that. Or young. I don't even think she's that pretty, but young at least.
The patriarchy. I think that
Okay,
there are
but
many men who
if
oppose the
is
patriarchy
system-
alongside of women.
Is the system that men or women feminists were fighting against patriarchal?
Yes.
And
I
it-
believe that the system is malevolent, but men are not
Yeah.
all inherently
Yeah, I know,
evil.
but can I give the argument?
I'm agreeing with you, Andrew. What are you even arguing?
I'm asking, is the patriarchy benevolent?
No.
Well,
I
then
don't
we have
believe,
a
but
then we
the
have a point.
patriarchy.
She'll say everything up to it. He'll show her that you're saying it is benevolent, but she just won't say it. Everything implies that they're benevolent because you're saying all these other pre-agreed to specifications here, and now you're saying it's not though. It's just being obstinate and just digging in. Remember, that's what causes all these women all their pain, because they dig in when they know they're wrong.
Patriarchy isn't a
contention.
person, Andrew. It's
I'm
not
not
like,
saying
"Oh, I'm the
I'm not
patriarchy."
I'm not,
It's a
I'm not
system.
saying it's a person, but if it's men who are in charge of a system and the men in charge of the system allow women to vote, then that would mean that the patriarchy, by your logic, is benevolent.
I believe that a system that is intended to perpetuate inequality on any basis is malevolent.
Then can you tell me how the
However,
patriarchy is
men
malevolent?
are not inherently
Yeah, I know, but can you
malevolent.
tell me then how the patriarchy is malevolent?
The patriarchy is malevolent because it's a system that is perpetuated to increase inequality, which increases
Can you
human
demonstrate?
suffering.
Can you?
So if I give you more money than I give this other guy, are you going to complain about the patriarchy because it's not even? No. You only want the benefits. You don't want any of the negative stuff. You want the benefits of getting the vote, but not any of the bad shit that goes along with it, the way men got to do it. You never have any consequences going with your benefits. You only get the benefit itself. And then you look around and say, now it's even. But men have consequences that go along with theirs. We don't get to vote unless we register for the draft. Why don't you? Because women never have to do anything. They're given everything. This is a woman's world we live in. We live in a matriarchy. Even though men started it, it benefits women. It doesn't benefit men. So how is it a patriarchy? I think all the forefathers that let feminism dip into our consciousness, I think they're part of a matriarchy because that's who they're protecting. They're giving things to women. They're not giving them to men. So wouldn't that be a matriarchy if it's in benefit of women? I'm not saying it's established by women, but benefiting.
You demonstrate that?
Well, before feminism and women didn't have the rights to vote, hold credit cards, own homes, leave their husbands.
You still don't have a right to own a credit card because if you don't have good credit, you don't get it. But I can understand why they didn't let women looking at your credit scores now, like the way y'all spend money you don't have. Maybe you shouldn't have credit cards. Just if we're going with, eliminating harm.
Get divorced, sued, and be sued. If a woman were to be mistreated by a man, she would have no power to leave that man without sacrificing her ability to have housing.
Yes, they didn't let women who were being abused leave their husbands before. That wasn't a actual reason you could put on your paperwork for your divorce. Nope. You just had to take that black eye. That's the only option you had. This chick knows nothing about history. Nothing. No fault divorces don't do that either. No fault divorces just say you can get a divorce and not even matter what the reason is. Just, I'm done looking at you. That's the reason. And that's why it shouldn't be marriage. If you're going to get into something that ends that easily, it shouldn't be called marriage. It should be called a civil union or whatever. And you can divorce those as many as you want. But if it's marriage between a man and a woman, that marriage has certain parameters. And if you don't fit those parameters, you can't do it. And if you're going to get divorced in a year, well, you shouldn't be able to do it.
Food and basic human needs. So it puts women in a position of dependency on men so that if there is an individual man who decides to behave malevolently, that woman has no ability to get away from him.
And the patriarchy
Perpetuates that by
hang
preventing
on.
women
Okay,
from
go ahead.
having access to jobs and the things that would allow them to get their own resources.
Yeah. So there's
thus
two
defining
arguments.
their own individual freedom.
Yeah, there's two arguments there. So I'll
Sure.
contend with both of them. Let's start with the first one. If it is the case that the patriarchy was acting in a malevolent way and women appealed to the patriarchy and they granted them these various rights that you considered was unjust, which by your logic they had to, then wouldn't that be the patriarchy acting benevolently?
But we're not appealing to the patriarchy.
Well, then who
we're
would you-
appealing to the morality of men. I don't think that all men are naturally just patriarchy.
Then when you were fighting the system,
patriarchy is a system, but men are not the system.
So
some men are
did
creators
the
of
system give you the right to vote?
The system did not give us the right to vote.
Then who did?
Men who were not who did not subscribe to the system helped us establish the right to vote.
So in her mind, they convinced more men in 1960 or whatever, given how men were in 1960, she thinks she convinced a majority of them to go to the polling place and vote to let women in. Whenever all these mean patriarchists were like, no, don't let them, and they were voting against it. She thinks she swayed more male feminists than regular men at that time in 1960. I want you to think about your grandpa. Think about if he would have voted that way. Think if anybody from that generation would have voted in an actual vote to say, let's let these cum dumpsters vote without having to go fight a war so that they can just vote on a war for us to go fight and then sit home and fuck whoever didn't get drafted, I guess. That sounds like a great deal for men. It sounds so awesome. So awesome.
Through our own work as social muckrakers.
So wait, I'm confused.
Civil disobedience.
Who was in
I
charge?
mean, do you not believe in like protests?
Who
It
was in
about
charge? Who was in
protests.
charge at the time? Was it a patriarchal system?
Yes, it was a patriarchal
And
system.
did that patriarchal system give you the right to vote?
No.
Well, then how did you get the right to vote?
Men and women
Uh-huh.
who were against the concept and the proliferation of the patriarchy fought alongside each other.
Fought how? With signs?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
And-
it's worked all over the world.
I
Nelson
see.
Mandela, Gandhi.
I see. So hang on.
There is civil disobedience.
Yes, you all know Miss Gandhi got to vote because because she was a feminist and she, I don't think she even knows Gandhi, and she's so uneducated here. It's just wild. She in a minute she's going to say she doesn't know what the 19th Amendment is. She's going to say a bunch of silly shit considering she's in school to learn this and do this professionally. at the beginning of the debate, she was telling Andrew how he's not a Jubilee All-Star. She's the Jubilee All-Star. She's bigger than him. And Dean and Parker and these little guys that he destroys, he makes them like just rage quit off of their own streams. And she thinks they're bigger than him because they have TikTok followers. I have 9,000 TikTok followers and I have only put a couple of videos up. I put like 2 clip videos up. It's not hard on TikTok. They can't come on YouTube and debate anybody because there's no mute buttons. You got to let the other side talk. This is how delusional this dumb woman is.
And so
help me
awarded
out.
people rights.
How did they win it exactly? Like, what did they do?
Well, a law was passed that
What
gave
law?
women the right to vote.
What law?
Which amendment is it?
You don't know?
No, I don't remember which amendment specifically is the
remember
one
the-
that gives women the right to vote, but there was an amendment that gave women the right to vote. There's also an amendment that gives...
So then actually the established system, which was in power, which was patriarchal, passed an amendment for women to vote?
But it's not a system passing... A system is not a person, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Do people get to vote on amendments?
Yes. So people voted on the amendment. That's not the
Brian,
system.
can we pull
though.
up?
Do you understand the difference
Yeah.
between a system and a person who
I
is
would like to
in
pull
a
up.
system?
I would like to pull up if people voted on the amendment.
Yes, people did vote on the amendment.
Yeah, they did.
So
See,
you think
yeah,
that
they
all
did
of those
vote.
people, like, do you think that every man is
No idea.
inherently the patriarchy?
Hang on, let's do a fact check here. I just want to make
Well,
sure.
do you think that
Let's
every
look.
man is inherently the patriarchy?
What do you like me to pull up?
Did the people have a direct vote on the 19th Amendment?
No, it's 19th.
Oh, it
I
is the
was
19th.
going to say 22nd.
The one amendment that benefited women only and no one but women. She doesn't even remember it. How much of a student of history are you when you don't even know the only amendment that ruined America? How do you not know that? Ugh.
One moment.
Sure.
It says, no, the general public did not have a direct vote on the 19th
But that's
Amendment.
not how any amendment is.
That can't be right. I thought all the women got to vote in an election to see if they could vote in more elections. That's the dumbest shit. She had to know when she was saying it how stupid it sounded, but it doesn't matter. I'm a girl. I can say it anyway. I'll just act like because that's how cream rise. That's how Kamala got to be vice president and an eyelash away from president. Think of one smart thing you've ever heard Kamala say, please. But it doesn't matter. If you've got a female face, then you're going to find some dumb women that'll get behind you and you can rise to the top in politics. It's crazy.
Amendment was ratified through the process outlined in the U.S. Constitution,
Okay.
which involves votes by elected representatives.
So then people did vote.
So who was the system?
Who is
No, that
the
wasn't
system?
the people voting.
Yes,
you
elected.
just got caught in
so
a
are
huge
elected.
lie.
Wait, hold on, Andrew. Are elected representatives human or not? Are they people?
Were they the patriarchy?
No, I'm asking you, are they human?
Sure.
The question was, did people vote
Was
to
that-
ratify the 19th Amendment?
They
I'm saying
didn't.
yes. And
The
there
people
were-
didn't vote.
I'm not saying the people.
Yes,
the
you
entire
were.
Yes, she was. She even specifically said they did go and vote. They went out and voted. That is what she said. And now she tries to gaslight and act like that's not what I meant. She thinks amendments get voted on just by general population. That's the level of education that you get for someone who's going for their master's or whatever, and whatever female college she's in. That's the level of education. Now, you can have a master's degree and know less than a guy on the street.
country, I'm saying people.
You're just gaslighting because you got caught
No,
in a
I'm
lie.
not, Andrew.
Now help me out
I'm
here.
saying people as in...
Were the elected officials the patriarchy?
I don't believe that all of the... I don't know every single elected official.
Then
who
who
voted
was
on
the
this.
patriarchy they were fighting against?
It's a system. It's
And
not
who
a
was in charge of the
person.
system?
Do you understand?
Who
that
was
it's
in
not a
charge of the
person?
system?
The system proliferates itself. No one is specifically like. Do you think there's
How
like
do
a
systems
Lorax for
proliferate
the
themselves without
patriarchy?
people?
A system is created.
System named Adam that just sprung into existence to perpetuate themselves. How is
Actually,
People.
that's it. Yeah. So a system is created by people and can be amended by people, but the system itself is not a person. Do you understand that? There's no person who's like, I am the spokesperson.
Was
of
the patriarchy in charge of the system or not?
Was the patriarchy in charge of the patriarchy?
Was the patriarchy in charge of the system?
Of what system?
Of the electoral system?
Was the patriarchy in charge? Well, men were in charge of the electoral system.
was the patriarchy.
But the patriarchy's not able to be in charge of the patriarchy. What's wrong with you?
Who's in charge of the patriarchy if it's not the patriarchy?
Well, it's men, but not every man is inherently a member of the patriarchy.
Who says every man? I'm talking about elected.
Exactly.
I'm talking about elected officials. Were
Exactly.
the elected officials who these women were protesting to change the law, the patriarchy they were protesting against?
I don't know if every single elected official that voted on the 19th Amendment was for or against the patriarchy, Andrew.
Were they the patriarchy?
Are they all the patriarchy? I'm not going to make that assumption about.
Then
She doesn't even know her own feminist teaching bullshit that she's in college to go and teach other people. Because you don't go to college to learn this shit just to keep it in your own empty head. You've got to go spread it out to other empty heads so that they start thinking this fucked up way of looking at the world. And so she doesn't even know her own tenets. She doesn't know what the fucking patriarchy is. The one thing they protest against the most. She doesn't know what it is. It's a system. She can't tell you if it's a system or if it's people or if it's people and the system. And every time she gets cornered, she just switches to the other definition. Oh, no, now it's a system. Well, no, oh, wait, no, it's people. It's people. Wait. I need it to be a system now. So it's a system now.
what system are you? Then point to what the system is that's the patriarchy. What is that system?
The system of the patriarchy is the government structure that enabled, well, actually, the system of the patriarchy is the structure in government that enables inequality on the basis of gender. It's not just one thing, it's a series of laws.
And was that system of patriarchy?
It was set up by men.
And was it in
yes.
place at the time the 19th Amendment was put in place? That
Yes.
system of, and so weren't they appealing to that system of patriarchy in order to get the 19th Amendment passed?
They appeal to men who worked within the patriarchy, but those men don't
the
have
patriarchy?
to be the patriarchy.
So they appealed to the patriarchy.
But not every man is the patriarchy.
I didn't say they were.
Yes,
In this
you're right.
case, we're talking about a system of elected officials where that system of elected officials,
I don't think that the
patriarchy.
Constitution and the entire government is the patriarchy.
Then what is the
Andrew.
patriarchy?
It's
Point to it.
specific laws that enable the proliferation
How can
of
a law be a
inequality.
patriarchy?
A law can be so it's specific laws that enable the proliferation of inequality.
That can't be the
on basis of
patriarchy. The
gender.
patriarchy is
Yes,
people,
it's
isn't
a
it?
collection. No, you're the one that said
Oh,
that.
now it's not again.
Patriarchy is not people?
No, it's an inanimate object. It's not a fucking person. You keep saying the patriarchy is people. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You just said that patriarchy was people. When you want it to be people, you say they are people. But when you don't want it to be, you conveniently change it back to just being a system. You just said it was people. Can you see why this gets so frustrating? And I'm going to tell you, this type of debate, this is not learned in college. This is learned much younger because I had a teenage daughter. And this is like what it's taught like talking to one of them. This is exactly. And this started as soon as she hit like sophomore year of high school, maybe end part of freshman year. It just became impossible to even reason with anything. So let me implore you guys who have children, get them out of public school. Like we went to a public school that was better than private school, and it was still awful. Like it got rated higher than many of the private schools in my area. She was like, but she had to go to a different parish, and it was like a whole thing. But I'm telling you, even at a good school, like that's like A+ rated in your area, doesn't matter. It still teaches them this bubblegum way of thinking where it just things change. And now you're arguing about, and it's this way. And then later it's this way. And it's impossible to get any reason. You can't even talk to them. This is hopeless. This is hopeless. Her poor parents.
What's a matriarchy?
And any man that she ever encounters. Poor him and poor parents. Oh,
A matriarchy would be a system of laws that proliferates the inequality of the sexes in favor of women.
So if you have a matriarchy, would it require that there was women who were in charge and in powerful positions, the top
Yes.
positions,
Yes,
right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be matriarchal, right?
sure.
So then patriarchal, it would have to have men in those same positions.
Yes, but those men
Hang
are
on.
not
Let me
the
just follow up.
patriarchy, right?
Well, no, I think who else would be the patriarchy then?
It's a system. It's laws, Andrew.
Can you-
Like the law that did not allow women to vote is a part of the patriarchal system. But it's not one freaking dude. Why do you keep thinking that the patriarchy is a single?
he has never once said it is one specific dude. He is saying that it is men in the government that are creating these laws and perpetuating the system. And she's She's just unable to do it. I don't even know why she's got this block. I don't know that this was some trap he was laying or anything, because it's pretty. I think it was just trying to move the debate along. I don't think this was a gotcha. I think he was just trying to move the conversation along and get her worldview. And she keeps looking at it like he's trying to trick her into saying this. The patriarchy at the time was men. It was not women. And he didn't say all men. I think he means the men who are in power at the time. They're keeping the laws the way they are. But she's just incapable. And women who are feminists will tell you the patriarchy was men. Blah, blah, blah. That's not even a point of contention with feminists. So that's what's so frustrating about this one. He couldn't even get the debate going because just simple questions just to establish her worldview. She would just obfuscate like this and just, that was not men. And just drag it out. I don't think they didn't really fully get any of the prompts that I saw. Like Jake came on by the end. I think Brian and Andrew went and had a drink or something because it was brutal. Brutal. It's brutal for me to react to. It had to be brutal to be just doing this thing straight out for almost 4 hours. Oh, fuck. I'd rather spend some time in prison, I think. God, it sounds awful.
Single set of humans.
Okay, well then walk me through.
It can be an ideology as well.
Okay, I see.
So like if you are a man who says, I believe that women don't have a right to vote, then yes, you would be in favor of a patriarchal system.
When feminists were fighting against patriarchy, they were fighting against an inanimate object.
We're fighting against a system, yes.
An inanimate object?
Do you not understand how systemic oppression works?
Well, I don't understand how
No, you don't understand how
patriarchy
systemic
works.
oppression works. Okay, so you don't understand how patriarchy
I
works.
guess I don't.
Thank you. All right,
I'm
well-
super confused. Feminists were fighting.
That's the only way he can get her to start driving a little bit, because he's got to pretend like he doesn't know. So, and everyone in the world can tell he does know, but he's got to let her act like she's smart so that she'll kind of, let her guard down a little bit and start answering questions, just not obfuscate the entire night she's there.
Fighting against an inanimate object.
It's a system. Do you know what a system is? Can you define the
Well,
word
I think
system?
I think that systems of governance require human beings,
He worked on robotic systems. I think he knows what they are.
Yes.
and I think specifically
But
that
systems of
I
government.
think specifically feminists were pointing at men in the government as being the patriarchy for sure.
Systems of government require human beings, but systems of government are not human beings. That's what I'm saying. Those men might have had power because of the patriarchy, but the patriarchy is not defined by those 5 people. If they were to die,
5 people.
then the patriarchy is not dead, it's not over. And that's the issue with the system, is because it's inanimate, you can't just appeal to one group of people and expect it to end.
So let me
That's why there's been multiple waves of feminism.
Okay, so I just
if
wanna-
the patriarchy was just the people that ratified the 19th
Yeah,
Amendment, then
yeah.
we would be over. There'd be nothing to talk about.
So when you're appealing to, I want to get rid of the patriarchy,
Yes.
you're saying that you want to just change governmental systems?
I want to repeal certain laws that proliferate the inequality.
So
of the
patriarchy is just
sexes.
laws?
Well, it's a collection of laws and systems, yes.
Well, what system?
Well, it's within the United States government system.
Yeah, but what's the system look like? Because it looks to me like we have the same fucking system that we had then.
Yes, but you see how laws can be amended and can change
So
the
it's just
rights?
laws?
Yes, essentially. It's
So,
a collection of laws.
so patriarchy is just a collection of laws.
Well, it's the idea that a collection of laws creates a system of inequality. Yes,
Okay, so
on
is,
the basis of gender.
is any law which creates something which is unequal based along gender lines patriarchal?
Well, if it creates inequality on the like in favor of women, then no, that would be a matriarchal law, right?
Okay, so matriarchy and patriarchy from your view,
It's not a human. It's a collection of laws.
it's just laws.
Yes.
So if laws favor a gender, then it's matriarchal, and if laws favor the gender female, then or sex female, then it's matriarchal.
Yes.
And sex male, it's patriarchal.
Yeah, and I'm fine with sex and gender interchangeably. I know some woke.
I mean, I'm not
Really?
really.
You don't think that you can use sex and gender interchangeably in this context?
No, I think
that's interesting.
that when progressives say gender, they mean something that I mean.
She'd be the first one to tell you that a woman is not the same thing as a female. So why is she saying this?
I use it interchangeably with sex because I mean female and male, and they don't. So let me
In the
ask you.
context of this, I think we should use it interchangeably, but that's
Yeah,
okay if you don't want to.
so help me out here with this then.
To make it more confusing and give you something to argue about later when he's incorrect, because you're trying to get him to be incorrect.
Just want to make sure I got this right. When we're talking about systems of enforcement for laws, for these laws,
Yes.
is the primary enforcement mechanism going to be men?
Well, the primary enforcement mechanism for most laws is our legal system, right?
No, the enforcement arm.
The enforcement would be the police.
And would you say that the police are mostly compiled of men?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Would you say that almost all enforcement mechanisms are compiled mostly by men?
Sure.
So then if we're talking about just the enforcement of laws that you want, aren't you again appealing to men?
Okay. And?
I just want to make sure that that's correct.
Okay.
Well, then you're ratifying force doctrine.
I'm not ratifying force doctrine, though, because it's not a judgment on. I mean, actually, I believe in your descriptor of force doctrine.
She did just ratify the force doctrine because they say that they don't appeal to men for the rights, and she just said they do. That's how you got your right to vote. You appealed to men. So you needed to appeal to men. That's the whole point of force doctrine. Yeah, they didn't have to use physical force to get it, but you still had to appeal to men. That's a big part of force doctrine.
My issue is that I don't believe in your prescriptor of force doctrine. I don't believe you're in your opinion on it.
Force
Yes,
doctrine is
force
not a
doctrine-
prescription.
Well, do you have an opinion on force doctrine? Do you believe that?
It's a descriptor.
Do you believe that it's moral?
What?
Force doctrine. Do you
Wrong.
believe that using coercive force
Wait a second.
to consolidate power is moral?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, sometimes
take
it
that.
is. But
But not all the time?
no.
Okay, deal.
No.
Deal. I
But
like that.
the thing is,
Andrew, you know we mostly agree on this one, right? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about right now?
well, I just wanted to make sure that, I mean, it actually does sound like you think that if all you're appealing to when you say patriarchy is laws that are passed, right? That's
I think she's confused because she's seeing it as they're not appealing to men for their force, but they are appealing to the man to have the weight of the government force women to be able to vote. So it is still force, and you're appealing to men. Men are in control of the force. So it is the same thing, but she's not seeing that it's a big part of force doctrine right here because you're appealing to men to have your force. Like you wouldn't have it if not, because then no one would from the government would enforce that right for you to be able to walk into a polling place and put your ballot in. That's what he's saying. It's confusing to her because she's not seeing. She's thinking, they appeal to men for their force and then like go beat somebody up and that thing. She's looking at this as a very rudimentary way of looking at it.
That's it. And that's what patriarchy is. I think that is in complete disagreement with the feminist movement and what early feminist pioneers were saying, which is that it's a male-oriented system, not laws.
It is a male-oriented.
And that it's the men who are in charge, which are problematic. So
I believe that the laws are what are basically more. I believe that the laws are what are malevolent in this system. When it
Okay.
comes to the existence of the patriarchy, it is laws. Those laws were created by some men. Those men who created laws to perpetuate inequality, they are immoral for that action. But I don't believe that all men are immoral just because we live in a patriarchal society. I mean, that would be ridiculous. How would I do anything? How would I have a conversation with
But that's
any
not
of
what
you?
I'm asking.
It
I'm
is,
asking
though.
you to
You said that
differentiate.
feminism lies about the benevolence
They
of
do.
men, and that feminists believe
Feminists
that all
do lie
men
about the
are
benevolence
immoral,
of men.
and I don't think that all men are immoral.
Yeah, well, then I don't think that you believe in the same prescriptions that your feminist forebears did.
My feminist forebears didn't believe all men were immoral.
Well, it's not
either.
all.
They had husbands.
They definitely believed, though, that the system of patriarchy was literally men who wanted to be in charge and men reinforcing the system of men
Yes.
being in charge.
But that's not every man, is what I'm saying.
I didn't say it was.
Okay.
That's not the point.
But we're talking about the benevolence of all.
Every single time. That's not every man. He has not once said that. And she just keeps doing it as if that's some talking point that's winning her a point here. You keep saying things that no one is saying. Yes, you're disputing things no one has said. So why do you keep doing that? She's done that like 6 times on the same topic. And she does it all over and over and over again. Women hear what they want to hear to like further their own arguments. They don't really even pay attention to you. They just hear some words and then they formulate what you mean based on the selected words that they chose to hear. Like they're not really even arguing against what you're saying. They're arguing against how they feel about what they think you're saying. That's the problem with women. In a nutshell, right there.
All men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe that the men who created the patriarchy are immoral, but that doesn't mean that the men who continue to exist in the patriarchy
Okay.
are all
And
inherently immoral.
what makes those men immoral?
What makes those men immoral is that they sought to perpetuate inequality within our society
And what makes that immoral?
on the basis of gender.
Yeah, what makes inequality
Well,
immoral?
I believe it's the violation of natural rights, but you don't agree.
Back to natural rights that are in her head but somehow we all share that same feeling because it's in her head. That's what she calls natural rights. Just she feels this way, and she feels that everybody in the world objectively has to feel the same way. And that thing cannot be subjective to anyone else. That's her views on natural law. Just to refresh y'all's memory, if you didn't see part 1, they spent about 2 hours just frustratedly arguing about that.
That those exist, so I guess it is completely immoral to oppress. It's completely moral to oppress people, according to you.
Well, so what natural right?
But if you wanted to do your
I just want to
prescriptive
make sure.
definition of
Yeah, I just want to make sure when you
morality, because
say
we don't want to be.
yeah, when you say a natural right, you believe that it's immoral under natural rights. Which natural right does that violate?
Well, I believe that we all have a natural right to bodily autonomy, physical autonomy.
You do?
Yeah,
Really?
the right to bodily autonomy. Yes.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so if two twin brothers want to have sex with each other, are they allowed to?
Oh my God! Wait, my bingo. Wait,
Oh,
my
here we
bingo.
go. Back to her favorite red herring, where she just pretends like she has a bingo card in her loose leaf notebook with sayings that he's going to say. And that might be why she's doing so poor in this debate. She is doing very poorly because she's not paying attention to what he's saying. She's looking for things that she can insert these little, I don't know, memes into. I don't even know what you'd call this little skit that she does to try and, get a little bit of heat behind her. It's not working. Like I don't know anybody that would see this and think, oh yeah, good point.
Oh, hold on.
Can you just answer
What
the
are we
fucking
gonna say?
question? This is so performative and cringe.
If two twin brothers. No, I
Can
guess
you
that
put
one's
the bingo
also red.
thing
Yeah,
away?
can we
you
just,
put-
it's so cringe.
That
Can you
one's
just
also
engage
a
with the
red
fucking
herring.
debate? If two twin brothers
Just like a high school girl. They do this type of shit because they think that impresses people.
want to enter into an incestuous relationship, do you have any moral objection to that based on your standard of natural law? As you just said, everybody has bodily autonomy.
So long as it's not harming yourself or others. I don't think that this is necessarily relevant to the conversation.
answer the
Do you
question?
know two twin brothers who are
Can
trying to
you
fuck
answer
right
the
now?
question? Do you believe that two twin
trying to fuck?
brothers who have sex with each other, do you think that that's inherently immoral?
I think it's disgusting.
Is it inherently immoral?
I think it's pretty gross.
Is it inherently immoral?
I mean, to me, yes. But
Well, then you just violated your own definition of natural law, which says that people have bodily autonomy. You're saying now
She said that was objective, that everybody would see it and know that that's a law that's on the books in the natural courthouse, I guess. The natural law says bodily autonomy is good. We got to make sure everybody gets that. But now she just said it's not objective because it's not like that for everybody. So how can it be objective if other people see it differently?
they don't, and that's immoral. So which is it?
yeah, I mean, it's just gross, though. It's
Okay,
not-
so is it immoral?
That's why, because it's gross. Gross things can violate the natural law in my head.
Yeah, I mean, well, what are the repercussions of it? Are they harming themselves or each other?
They're both consenting.
I don't think it matters if they wear a condom. I don't think that's the issue here.
If two consenting brothers want to commit an act of incest,
Is it immoral?
I don't know. I think it's kind of a gray area. I say it's technically not defying either of their right to bodily autonomy, but I think it could potentially cause
Is
harm.
it immoral or not inherently?
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
Answer the fucking question. Is it inherently immoral or not?
I don't know, honestly. I'm going to say I don't know.
You don't know
What
if
do you
it's
think?
you don't know if it's inherently immoral after you just said you believe every single individual has bodily autonomy for two twin brothers to engage in an incestuous relationship. You don't know?
I think that if it's harming themselves or others, then yes, that would be immoral.
Okay.
Like if their parents knew about this and it destroyed their family, then yeah, that would be immoral.
Well, no, because how would that violate bodily autonomy? Who cares what their parents know and it hurts their feelings?
Yeah, my bodily autonomy is dependent on my mommy liking it.
Who gives a shit? Do you care about if your parents care about your sexual relationships?
If it destroyed my family, I think they would care. Yeah.
That's inherently immoral if you engage in a relationship your parents don't agree with.
Well, it's not just that they don't agree with it; it's that it would destroy their family.
I can make the same argument for a homosexual child. Oh, you're having a homosexual relationship and we're heavily religious, so that destroyed our whole family.
Yeah, but that's on the basis of choice. Like religion is a choice.
Both of these are based on choice.
No, you can't really choose who's your brother.
Oh my God.
You can choose to fuck him.
Yeah, that's true. But you can't choose who's your brother. You can choose who, like, you can choose to have an issue with homosexuality. That's a choice.
Both are choices.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gross and wrong.
Is it, well, it's not wrong, right? It's just, is it immoral?
I mean, it's not violating their personal bodily autonomy, but it's wrong.
Okay.
As if we make our laws based on what she thinks is gross. Like, you're gonna make it illegal to eat boogers? That's gross. Like, what? Fat girls? You make it illegal to fuck fat girls? I find that gross. She doesn't even understand because these have to be objective. Like, you can't be subjective to each person. Like, I don't even understand. Is it objectively wrong that gross things are bad? I don't know. Like, a lot of people like fucking fat girls.
What does that mean then? Wrong. Does wrong mean immoral?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Andrew?
I'm asking, I want an answer and then I'll give you my answer. But for the
Okay.
love of God, answer a question.
Okay, I'm going to say that there are limits to bodily autonomy and that is immoral. How's that?
So then, what is the limits to bodily autonomy?
I would say if you're harming yourself or others, that would be a limit on
Then demonstrate the
bodily
harm,
autonomy.
the bodily harm to themselves.
Well, I mean, they would be completely disgraced by society. That's a pretty
So
significant
that
harm.
if I completely disgrace myself in front of society, that's immoral?
Yeah, you're harming yourself.
You're doing it right now. You're disgracing yourself in front of everybody on YouTube.
That's
What?
self-harm. You don't think so? Like if you were to run around the streets naked and get
Do you
arrested.
think that
you
at
would
first
be-
Martin Luther King was embarrassing himself in front of society? Because at first I think he was, until he
Oh
wasn't.
my God! Do you think Martin Luther King was embarrassing
Until he
himself?
wasn't.
Do you think that Martin Luther King is a moral equivalency to fucking?
No,
your
I'm doing an internal
brother?
criticism in order to get you to understand that the concept that you just gave me was, if society considers you and your viewpoints cringe, that's bodily harm. Do you realize how crazy that is to say out loud?
No, but society is not considering incest cringe. That's different.
Yes, that's all they're doing is considering
no,
it
incest
cringe.
is different than demanding human rights for black people.
What?
Bro, why, I don't know why you're...
Because you brought up MLK. Why the
Because
fuck
I'm
you
just,
bring
I'm
MLK?
giving an example of if society socially found you to be super cringe, you're saying that that is self-harm.
I think that it would be self-harm to destroy your relationship with your family and ostracize your. Oh, do you want me to? I think that it would be self-harm to destroy your relationship with your family and to ostracize yourself from society for the purpose of having sex with your brother.
Okay, would that apply to just regular homosexuality?
Yeah.
If you were in a religious community and that was your community, or perhaps you're in a religious nation or state, and you decided to engage in homosexuality and that destroyed your family, all of society went against you, that is now the same, hang on, the
Yes.
same principle of self-harm. How would that not equally apply?
Homosexuality is not a choice. Having sex with your
Having
brother
sex,
is a
having
choice.
sex as a homosexual is a choice.
So you don't think that any homosexual should be allowed to have sex so long as their family?
It's still a choice. You choose to pull your pee-pee out and put it in that dude's butt, or you choose not to. She's so out there. And I don't know if she's just so beat up from this whole thing because she seemed kind of oblivious to it. I don't even think she knows she was losing. She probably thought she won this debate. Jesus Christ. That's the fucking scary part. She might think she won. Yeah. This is the insanity that my channel is built on. This is why I started my channel, because this is the type of insanity I was seeing on dates. I mean, they were older than this. I don't date that young. I mean, you know, not long term. But yeah, this is so fucking frustrating to me, especially like I said, I dealt with this in my personal life, so I understand the frustration of just trying to make someone who is not capable of understanding understand.
Do you understand that
Disagrees
when you
with it?
just continuously say, so you believe when I ask you a question,
But
that is the cringiest thing that you do. Anytime I ask you a question, you just say, so you believe that blah, blah, blah.
Well,
I'm
then why
asking
don't
you
you
a
bother
question.
to share your freaking beliefs? Then I don't have to ask you. and-
She thinks the debate is a place where you just share your beliefs, and it's not about ideas and getting people's philosophy down and finding out their worldview. She thinks it's just tell me your beliefs, and we'll say yours are wrong, and you'll say mine that are wrong. That's not a debate. That's not how debates work.
Literally
probe
just
you.
got
You
done.
refused. I mean, even the last.
Sometimes he'll do an internal critique where he'll take like a stance that's not his own to try and delve into their mindset, and they just they immediately start thinking, "Oh, you're crazy," and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm using your worldview to show you how crazy that is," and they can't understand it at all.
I literally just I went through all of my views. I just went through all of my views on this and we agreed, and now we're on bodily autonomy. So the
then
thing
why
is,
are we even-
please answer my question and stop obfuscating. Stop evading.
Okay,
Stop
I will answer
lying.
your question. Shush. Homosexuality is biologically natural. Like, it's a natural part of a homosexual human's biology. It's not something that can change. Your choice to disagree or be disgusted by homosexuality.
Okay, if homosexuality is natural, then that would mean that it would result in children because that's what sex is for. It's for reproduction. So I don't know that it's natural. I mean, I can see how she's saying it's natural for a homosexual to do that, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say so, but
Sexuality can change. However, your brother, having sex with your brother is not a human necessity. Even if you are a homosexual, you don't have to choose.
Wouldn't that make it a choice then? You just said it's not a necessity, but a minute ago you were saying that they don't choose to do this, that this isn't a choice. So I think she might either be understanding or we're just beating her up so bad that she's arguing against herself again.
To have sex with your brother. Therefore, you are causing emotional and physical harm to your family. However, being gay is not a choice.
So if it's the
Do you think that being gay is a
So
choice?
if it's the case that is, would you agree with me? The definition of homosexuality is attracted to the same sex for purposes of sexual intercourse or something like this.
Yes.
Great. So then, if it's the case that you're attracted to your twin brother, is that a choice?
To act on that attraction is a choice.
Well, then I would say the same thing about homosexuality, wouldn't I?
But it's not like you can.
I think she also thinks that anybody you're attracted to, you've got to put your penis in them. Like, I don't understand this. You could be attracted to a 16-year-old girl, but you don't do anything. You say, no, I don't do that. Like, attraction is something you can't help, but it is something you can help to act upon. Like, you have to have some restraints in your life, and some things you just like, I leave the 16-year-old girls alone now. I'm too old for that. But that's a choice. Being attracted to them is not the bad part. Like, just noticing that something is attractive. Yeah, that's just like, I could be attracted. I can think a car is attractive. You know, it's doesn't mean I'm going to buy the car. It just means I think it's attractive. Jesus.
And choose who specifically you are attracted to, but the sex of the person
You can't
attracted
choose
to is not a choice.
specifically who you're attracted to. That's insane.
Really?
You can choose who you're attracted to.
You don't think that there's any personal
If you can
preference
just
involved
choose
in
who you're
choosing-
attracted to, then why can't homosexuals just choose to be attracted to women?
You can't.
Exactly.
Can
The
you answer that?
specific person.
Yeah, why can't-
Not the general sex of all people you're attracted to.
So you can choose people you're attracted to.
Andrew, some of them, but not all of them. Like,
So
not
if
the
you're
entirety
attracted,
of
so
the
if you're
sex.
attracted to your twin brother, right, and attraction is something you can't help, that's your justification for homosexuality,
No.
then what is the immorality here?
I think that in a
She knows she's caught right there because the immorality comes in the choice to act on that attraction.
attraction to a specific sex or gender is something you cannot help. But in attraction
Why not a
to-
specific person?
So that's the only thing you can't help but act on. I guess it's just this gay rage or whatever. You just have your heart is filled with gay rage, so you just got to bend over. You can't help it. You can't control it. that's her. I think that's her argument here.
a specific person is something you can.
How? How do you help who you're attracted to? How?
Really? You've never been attracted to someone and been like, ugh, I just don't want, like, I don't like them? Like, you've never done that?
Do you realize it?
Right. So she just showed that you're attracted to someone and you're like, ugh, I'm not going to do that. The exact point he's trying to get her to see. Yeah, you could be attracted to somebody, but it doesn't mean that you have to act upon it. That's what he's trying to tell you because you're like, ugh, yeah, that homeless guy, man, he's really hot, but yuck. She can't see that. She can't understand it. Or she can, but she can't admit it because she knows it makes her look bad.
You just refuted yourself.
You've never
How do
been
you
able
help
to-
who you're attracted to? You say you've never been attracted to somebody, and then that already presumes you're attracted to them.
Yes, you can choose not to be attracted to someone.
You
who
can't
were at one
choose.
point
You can
attracted
choose who
to.
you're attracted to.
I mean, I can. Maybe you're just like.
You
maybe
can?
I'm
She just said
built
she would.
different. I don't know, man.
Okay. Do you think?
She just said she couldn't. You ever been attracted to somebody, meaning you're attracted to them, and just like, yuck? So you can control it. You are still attracted to them. They're just yuck. So it's the exact same thing he's trying to get you to understand, but you're just going to flip-flop back to the other side here instead of admitting, okay, yeah, you're right. I can see what you're saying now. If you do that, this would go a lot more peaceful for her. It wouldn't look like a mauling that this is.
Most people can choose who they're attracted to?
I think that the majority of people can decide on a singular individual whether or not they're attracted to them. Yes.
Are you serious?
Not based entirely, like you can't decide what sex you're attracted to.
Then why can't homosexual men just choose to not be attracted to all other men?
Did you just hear what I said? You cannot decide what sex you are attracted to.
No, they're attracted to the sex. I know, they're attracted to the sex, but why can't they just choose to not be attracted to every man?
You cannot, because I'm answering your question. You cannot choose which sex you're attracted to.
They're attracted to the sex, but they're choosing not.
Yes, she's blocking this out. He's saying on an individual level, take each man, and each time you get attracted, just say, no, I'm not attracted. I don't fuck men. That's all he's saying. And she just can't do it. Can't do it. You can only do it if it's one man. You can't do it if it's a bunch of men, because they'll overpower you. Force doctrine. You're getting fucked tonight.
Not to be attracted to every man.
I'm using sex by gender.
I am too. I'm using. Okay. Listen. So here, look. It's simple. They're attracted to only men.
This red herring.
But because it's not a red herring.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
so
it
there.
is.
The thing we've been talking about for 30 minutes can't be the red herring. We're just continuing talking about the same thing we've been talking about. She doesn't even know what these terms mean. She just knows when to throw them in and make it sound like that's the thing. This isn't even close to a red herring. This is what they're talking about. What, it's just continuing to talk about this now, becoming a red herring? Is that how that works?
So they're able. I'm internally critiquing. I'm internally critiquing bodily autonomy.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And all you do is run. So the thing is like, look, this is super simple. Why couldn't you be attracted to an entire sex, right? But since you say individual attraction, right, is something which can be helped, then you're only attracted to males as a homosexual, but shouldn't you be able to control being attracted to every single individual male who is in that homosexual category?
No, because individual attraction is different than your sexuality. It's a specific.
But the person whose dick you're looking at is still that. He's still one person. I'm just not going to be attracted to you because I don't do that. She's not. Oh my God. This is so infuriating. How do you not understand? Whenever you're looking at one man, you're not seeing every man. You're seeing that dude. So you just look at him and, oh, I'm attracted to him, but he's not. I don't fuck dudes because that's disgusting. She can't do that. She can't do that. Like, okay, that's what that's just how men are with, like, I'm not really attracted to men at all, but the young girls, yeah, you could see a girl who's pretty and you're just like, yeah, she's pretty, but I don't fuck children. That's not hard to fucking do for most people.
Specific person versus an entire sex.
Yeah, so then you individualize them, and each individual person in that sex category, you choose not to be attracted to.
No, that would be impossible.
Why?
Because it's biological.
So then, if you can't help who you're attracted to,
you can help.
And this is fallacious anyway. When you're looking, when you're okay, say you're in a gay bar for some reason and you're not gay, but you look and you see a guy who's attractive. You're not seeing every man. You're seeing that guy. So this is the exact same thing that she just said, that she was attracted to somebody, but yuck. Why can't this guy who's weirdly in a gay bar just see that one guy and be like, that's a guy who's attractive, but I'm not into that, yuck. Just like she said she could. She keeps trying to throw it as a whole sexuality. That if that guy goes home with that other guy, it's not all of the male sexuality that's having sex with him. It's that dude. So why couldn't he do that one thing that she could do with the gross guy or whatever?
The justification for homosexuality, why couldn't that be the justification for an incestuous relationship?
Because you don't understand the difference between a sex and an individual. You can choose the individuals you decide you want to be attracted or not attracted to, but you can't decide the entire sex you decide to be attracted to.
No, you're attracted to the entire sex, but why couldn't they just say that they're not attracted to each and every individual in that sex and choose that?
Because That's the entire sex. If it's all of them, then that's still the sex.
Well, then-
if it's every individual, then that's the sex.
Then your argument's circular the other way too.
It's not circular.
Yeah,
the
they
other way,
only have
Andrew.
one brother.
Your argument is
if you
circular
only
the
have
other
one
way.
brother and you're only attracted to your brother, right?
There you go.
Or you're only attracted to your family members,
But that's
or you're
not
only attracted to
biological.
that.
Let each other finish.
If it's the case that you're only attracted to your family members, right? How can you help that?
What version of sexuality is one where you are only attracted to your family?
Actually, there is a version of it. Would you like Brian to pull it up?
What the fuck is that?
Pull it up.
Good argument there. Good argument. What the fuck is that? Good argument, ma'am. You get the. There you go. Jesus Christ.
Up, Brian.
What do you
What
want
do
me
you
to
call a
do?
person who's only attracted to family members?
An incestophile?
I think so.
An incestophile.
Well, we'll find out. We'll
I mean,
we'll
that
get the
sounds like a
exact.
mental illness above anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you have to make a justification for why two twin brothers couldn't have sex.
Yeah, two twin brothers are butt fucking each other, and it's not a mental illness. What would you call it, sweetheart? Just because we don't have asylums now doesn't mean all this shit everybody's doing isn't crazy.
With each other, and why that would be immoral, based on your bodily autonomy argument that everybody should have bodily autonomy. You'd
Well,
have to
it's-
demonstrate the harm.
Yes, there's still bodily autonomy, but you would be harming your entire family as well as yourself.
I
You
can
would
make the
be.
same argument for homosexuality.
Yes, but homosexuality is not a choice. Fucking your brother is.
Do you want the definition?
So it's not a choice. It's like they're in heat. Like, you ever seen a dog that's in heat and they just don't have a choice anymore? They just gotta do it. That's what she thinks homosexuality is. Think of that, fellas, you gay guys out there. She thinks that you're just a dog in heat, that you have no choice in this matter, that if you see a good looking guy, your pants just start coming down and he starts walking over to you. That's just how the courting of a gay man works in her mind.
Or not the definition, the term. I believe
Yeah, the
this is the
term.
term. I don't know if this rings a bell. Consanguinate.
Yeah,
Sounds like he's evoking a spell here.
consanguineous.
Consanguinamorous.
Yeah,
A person who in a consensual romantic or sexual relationship with an adult blood relative. Consanguinamorous.
okay.
That's-
I try my best.
Your family all.
Can you wait? I
Here.
want to know what percentage of the population
Let's
is
try-
consanguinamorous?
let's try this.
Like, is this
You
like
got
a,
it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
By the way.
is this a large group of
What
people?
percentage?
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very small.
It's probably
It's
small.
got to be.
So-
So then why are we talking
because
about
it's-
this? When
we're
it comes-
testing
No,
the-
actually, I want
to finish it. I'm almost done.
Redirect the conversation.
We
back
can, and I'm
to
almost
general
done. I
bodily
just wanna ask
autonomy.
one last question.
I think it's weird that we've been so focused
One
on
last
these two
question on
twin
bodily autonomy.
incest
Just to be
brothers.
fair, I searched her thing up. So globally, it says about 20% of the world's population lives in communities where consanguineous marriage is preferred, with a rate of 20 to 50% in parts of the
Middle East. I promise you, he's about to say Middle East.
Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia.
They're all immoral, right?
So in those countries, it's well, I mean, if they're
No, not if they're in the Middle East. She's on that side, so can't say that.
They're all immoral, right?
hold on,
Hold on.
can I ask you
Wait
a
a
question?
minute. Can I call one of my liberal friends to see like what my stance is supposed to be in this situation?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, wait, I want to go back to more research on this. I feel like I can't give you a good answer because I don't really know
'Cause you're not
anything
smart
about
enough.
it.
Well, there's also cousin marriage worldwide. More
Yeah,
than
because
10
are we talking about like
10%.
the cultural tradition of marrying your cousins or having incest with a sibling in a society
Well,
that
let's
does
just.
not accept?
Well, here, I'll just make it
consanguineamorous?
simple. I'm just going to make it super easy. The question: your whole family dies in a tragic accident except your twin brother. So now you can't destroy them emotionally because they're all dead. Is it okay or moral then to have a twin brother incestuous relationship based on your principle of bodily autonomy?
I guess if you're not hurting anyone, including yourself, then sure. But I
Depends on how big the top brother's dick is, I guess.
don't think that this negates the basic belief that bodily autonomy is a human right. Because I do think the consequences of living in a society where bodily autonomy doesn't exist are far greater. I mean, if nobody has a right to bodily autonomy, then at any point, any of us would be able to just fuck with each other and physically harm each other.
But don't you want to
without
restrict bodily
consequence.
autonomy constantly?
What?
Don't you want to restrict bodily autonomy constantly?
In what universe do I want to restrict?
Well, I don't
bodily
know. Did you
autonomy?
support the lockdowns?
Did I support the? Well, that again is an exception in the
Yeah, and it's exception whenever it violates all my rules. No, she's a hypocrite here, and she's gonna get caught.
case of creating harm to yourself or others.
Well, wasn't that a
Those are the two
And turns out there was no harm, really. A bad cold, that's harm. You could argue now that there's harm in flu season to leave your house, or if you live in a bad neighborhood. So you just got to lock them down. Like, you got to lock me down because the criminals are on the streets. You got to lock me down because it's unsafe. I would wager that it's much more unsafe to just go get groceries in Southside Chicago than it was for me to walk out and get groceries during COVID.
exceptions.
Wasn't that a subjective harm?
Millions of people died. Is that subjective to you?
Well, I mean, it's a subjective harm that you lock people in their homes or lock down their businesses.
Millions of people died, though. It's
Yeah.
not subjective that those people died. They objectively died.
Yeah, but I mean,
Did you know
here's-
anyone who lost
here's the
anyone during
problem.
COVID?
Yeah, of course.
It was brutal, man.
Yeah, of course. But the
How
thing
could
is,
you argue that
how could it be so you don't really believe in a principle of bodily autonomy?
But it's foreseeable risk. Like, there's a foreseeable risk that if you go outside while there is a contagious deadly disease and you continue to spread that contagious deadly disease,
So-
you could foreseeably cause
So
bodily
bodily
harm to somebody else.
autonomy should be restricted as long as we can justify that there's some sort of harm to other people. Is that right?
Yes, to an extent.
To an extent.
I think that there are certain exceptions, but I think on a general principle,
All of her rules have some extent that they go to, and that extent exists in her head. So if you ever try to enact any of these rules, you got to call her and find out what her parameters are of the limits in her head where all of these rules stop applying.
yeah, I agree with that.
So why shouldn't we stop women from having an abortion if half of us perceive the harm of it?
Well, because you haven't proven that that's a legitimate
Why do we
harm.
need to?
You haven't proven it during COVID. I'm still waiting on that proof. I went out and I was fine. I didn't wear a mask most of the time either.
We have to is perceive it that way.
No, you have to prove that there's legitimate
Then
harm.
why do we care about this?
Foreseeable risk, like on a legal sense, you have to be able to prove
Then
that
why-
there's a foreseeable risk.
then why do we care about you
You can't just
just-
go based off vibes.
Then why is it that we care about you hurting your entire family because it hurts yourself again? Because that's just perception.
Because there was a proven foreseeable risk. Like, legally, there was a proven foreseeable risk that going outside could potentially cause bodily harm. And by the way,
Isn't
people
going outside always potentially
But by
something
the
that can
way,
cause bodily
Andrew,
harm?
I mean, I was also
I bet she supported vaccine mandates too. Is that bodily autonomy? You're going to tell me what you're going to put in my body that I don't want there? How is that bodily autonomy? I promise you she supported all those mandates. So please explain, ma'am. Explain.
and like alive during COVID. People still left their houses all the time. People threw parties. Like, people did tons of stuff.
They
during
resisted.
COVID.
They were called politicians. The politicians who were voting on us not being able to have parties. That's who was doing all that. Gavin Newsom was doing that. Nancy Pelosi was doing that at a beautician's house. That's what she's talking about, I think.
resisted the state-sponsored bullshit. That's true.
But it wasn't a mandate. Like, it wasn't forcing you to
They
be
did
inside.
force
The
businesses
lockdown
to
was
shut
not-
down. Yes, they did.
Okay, well, you could still go
And they
outside.
Okay, well, ignore that point I just fucked up.
And progressives wanted COVID passports. Where are your paper checkpoints? Right? Very fascist dystopian.
So that you can't spread a disease that was killing people.
So then
Do
restricting.
you think that you should just be allowed to spread a disease?
Well, I
and
think
kill as
that
many people as
your
possible?
principle of bodily autonomy is making less and less sense because it seems
No.
like as long as we subjectively can claim that you're going to do something which we perceive as being harmful, then we can restrict your bodily autonomy.
No, it's not subjectively can claim. It's objectively can claim.
Oh, we can
As long
objectively
as
claim
you
it.
can objectively claim that there is either foreseeable risk of causing
What amount of foreseeable risk? Like, it's very conceivable that he could get cancer from the cigarette he smokes. You know, her too. She smokes. She goes to smoke breaks. So, wouldn't it be fair that we could just take those away from y'all? Because y'all keep trying to take away stuff that does a lot less harm than cigarettes. So why not?
bodily harm, or you are actively causing bodily harm to yourself or others, then an individual deserves bodily autonomy.
Then why don't we restrict swimming pools?
Why would we restrict?
Because there's a massive foreseeable risk that you're going to cause harm.
Why don't we restrict women drivers? They create, and Asians, and I have yellow fever, but I got to drive on these streets. So, would she be in favor of restricting Asians and women from driving in America? Because I think that would be eliminating harm, reducing harm at least.
Harm to yourself, your family, or other people who come swimming.
I don't think there's a massive pursuit. Also, that's why we have lifeguards.
There's a much bigger chance.
That's why we have lifeguards. Well, that's why we have hospitals. So if you get the disease that I'm carrying or whatever, then that's why we have hospitals.
That your percentage as an individual would die probably in a swimming pool than from COVID-19.
But swimming pools are voluntary. We're not forcing everyone to go into a swimming pool.
This is so funny.
But more people do die in swimming pools than from COVID-19 is what he's trying to say. Like if you're of, a healthy age, yeah, old people, yeah, you should probably lock down some older people and keep them safe. But I don't really see why me at, whatever age I was during that whole ordeal, why would I need to? I'm I wasn't in good shape then, but I am now. So if it happened now, would you tell me I can't go outside? I'm in great health. I go running. I can do stuff for short periods of time. I did have a titanium spine put in, so I can't do it for very long, but I can do it for short periods of time. I'm very healthy. So would it be fair to tell me I can't go out now and and assume my own risk on that? I'm not even, vaccinated. So if I take that risk on myself, who's to say? Who are you to say?
To me, I thought it was about bodily autonomy, not
Yes.
about not about anything else.
Yes, swimming pools are voluntary.
And you want to restrict
if you
bodily
forced
autonomy.
everyone to go into a swimming pool, then yeah, that'd be.
Then why wasn't it voluntary for me to walk into a fucking shop if I wanted to without a mask on?
Well, the shop voluntarily chose to close. If you wanted to open,
They
your own
didn't.
shop,
The
you
state
could.
mandated that they close.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, they voluntarily agreed to follow the law. That's what happened.
But
Restriction of bodily autonomy. Like, all of your principles are completely fucking incoherent. They're all incoherent.
no, I'm not. No, it's not. There's
It
still
is.
a foreseeable risk. There was a foreseeable risk that people were going to
There's
die.
foreseeable risk with everything.
I mean, but also, Andrew, like if you were to open a store during COVID and a bunch of people went to your store, got COVID, and died, they would sue the fuck out of you. I think a
Isn't
lot of
it
those
their
businesses
choice?
would.
Isn't it
be
people's
closed
choice?
Anyway.
Isn't it people's choice? Just like the swimming pool.
I can't name a single store that ever got sued because someone had COVID inside of it. I mean, it went anywhere. I didn't hear about them. They might have existed, but I didn't go anywhere. Or you'd hear about it. There'd be a lot of lawsuits. Everybody would sue every time they got COVID. Just say the store they went to, but you can't prove that it came from there. So how do you know? You only going to one place. Most people have to go through the world to get to places that are out in the world.
Just like the swimming pool, going into a restaurant and opening yourself to foreseeable risk. Yes, and lots of people chose to do that.
And then why is it that you just 5 seconds ago said that these restrictions and the lockdowns were totally fine from the state mandating what people do voluntarily?
Brian, look up how many people died during COVID.
You just said the voluntary nature of swimming pools is why we don't restrict them even though they cause bodily harm. Why is the voluntary nature of people engaging in society during COVID not the
Because you
same?
don't voluntarily spread disease. You can't be like, hey, I'm not going to spread disease to that guy because he's immunocompromised. I'm going to
That
keep
guy
my
had the
COVID
choice
over
to stay
here."
home or go out, right?
But you live with other people. That was the issue. If
We
some
don't-
members of a family went out and then some left and then came back and exposed their immunocompromised family members to the illness, they could die.
Then the problem you have
Like, dude,
again
COVID
with
sucked. It was a bummer and it was horrible for businesses.
This is
But
so
I would
funny.
rather have to stay inside or go to a park or go to a public space
Yeah.
than
Oh, she makes so much sense. That's why they put up these plexiglass walls for you to reach around to hand your money to people. She's so smart. These all make such good ideas. They're just brilliant, really. I'm going to take a little piece of paper and put it over my face and go to a restaurant and then sit down, take it off, eat my food, interact with the waitress. Oh, I got to pee. I got to put it back on to walk to the fucking bathroom. That's the rules these morons thought made sense. They make sense in their mind. They do. They make sense to them. And they can't understand why normal people hear that shit and think you're an idiot, a complete moron.
risk killing my grandma and the other immunocompromised people in my life.
Should people who all voluntarily
But that's why the
if
shot
people,
was voluntary.
If people are always voluntary, well, progressives
How
didn't
many
want it to
people
be.
died from COVID?
7 million.
So 7
Yeah.
million people died, Andrew.
Yeah, how many
You don't
people
think
die
that's
every year
enough?
of the common flu?
That's worldwide over like 3 years too. That's not as alarming as they made it seem when it was happening, when they made it seem like everyone was going to go eventually. This is much, much different. That was not a serious pandemic like they made it seem. There was no bubonic plague levels. Even if more were killed, there was a lot less people back then. So it really doesn't matter. That was not the type of catastrophe that we should have all had to stay home for 3 years for. That's bullshit.
Sure.
You don't think that's enough of a foreseeable risk?
Let's see how many people die from the common flu.
Wait, are we talking U.S. or just?
That the one I provided, the 7 million, I believe that was worldwide.
And that was
Can we
for how
do
many
years.
years?
Let's do just US for
Hold
both.
on.
They just said during COVID. COVID was about 3 years. Started in like the end part of 2019. I think first day I counted was in March of 2020. So say from 2020 to 2022, that's like a couple of years there. So I don't know if they're doing this very scientifically. You need to go over the same time periods if you're going to do that, even though you wouldn't go with the same time periods, but the same amount of time periods. You wouldn't want to overlap it because people obviously aren't swimming when you can't leave your house. So I would take a similar period of time and compare it. That's the only way you can do it with something like this. So I don't think Brian's doing this very scientifically.
Just US for both, 1 sec.
Yeah, because we're talking about the US. I mean, other countries don't have the same access to medical, health.
Some of them have much better.
Yeah, I know. It's a
So
bummer.
globally, the estimates that seasonal flu causes about 290,000 to 650,000 deaths each year.
That
That's a
seems
lot
like a
less than
worldwide.
7
That's
million.
worldwide.
That's worldwide, and that seems like a lot less.
calm down.
Wait, so can we do US?
yeah. Calm down.
I'll do US.
There's no uh-oh.
Whoa, Andrew, I think you're wrong.
That's a foreseeable risk, isn't it?
I don't think statistically it's a high enough foreseeable risk. How many people get?
Also, that's just in the US, and their last number was globally. So I'm pretty sure that you could rearrange it. And you can't even go by a global number for swimmers, because if that many was the number just for America, yeah, that's a lot. Because I don't think it was the same number for the world as for the people who died of COVID in America. And a lot of places don't have pools. They go swimming in water and wouldn't even count. They don't even keep track of those numbers, probably. If you die swimming in like Mexico, no one will know. They may find your body, they may not.
Get the
Wait.
flu every year.
Wait a second. How many people do you think 7 million people is as a percentage of the global population?
Well, isn't the global population like 8.2 billion?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a range, but 2022, 2023, the CDC estimates about 21,000 deaths due to influenza in the USA.
Okay.
And then you wanted me to look something up?
Yeah, but hang on.
Wait, no. Let's
You
keep
got to
going.
you got to do that not during the COVID lockdowns.
Because
That's the
everything was a
important part.
COVID death then.
Wait, no. Let's keep going. So
Because during the COVID
that's-
lockdowns, they reduced significantly.
You want me to check?
Oh
like, the
wow, isn't that
2010s?
nice?
Because they called everything COVID. You could die in a motorcycle accident and it was COVID all the time to boost the numbers so they could exert more control, keep you in the house, make sure you're just docile. That's the whole. She's not even understanding what happened, and she went through it. She was alive during that time, and she doesn't know what was going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Almost
true.
like
If you
those
lock people in their
lockdowns-
houses, they won't spread any illness. That's
Yes,
true.
that was the point. There was multiple illnesses going around that were subjecting people to a
So what
serious
percentage
risk.
is reasonable for us to implement against bodily autonomy when it leads to death? Is 7 million people yearly?
Well, I think you have to ask a lawyer, Andrew.
I'm
'cause
asking
there is
you.
actually a legal precedent for that.
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm not a lawyer. You should ask a legitimate
I need to
lawyer.
ask a lawyer how many people you think it's legitimate to restrict their bodily autonomy for?
Well, it's a law. Like, it's a literal law.
You don't base your morals on law. You're basing them on bodily autonomy.
No, I'm basing it on the concept of
No, sometimes I base it on things that I like or that I see on CNN. Sometimes somebody will just tell me something, and I'll base what I feel like on that. That's.
I'm basing bodily autonomy on the concept of foreseeable risk, which is a law. So why would you
So
ask me
650,000 a year isn't enough of a foreseeable risk?
that? Worldwide?
Yeah.
I would say no if
Well,
there's 8.2 billion people.
Why
on
7
Earth.
million if there's 8.2 billion?
Do you not know the difference between 650,000?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the threshold breaker here is.
It's a lot bigger. Well, it's not up to me.
Well, but I'm asking because of bodily autonomy. You support this stuff.
Yes, I support saving people's lives. by
Yeah,
staying
so
inside during-
where's the threshold where we can lock people down and restrict their bodily autonomy?
Well, there is a legal threshold.
What
Why
is
don't
your
you ask a
threshold?
lawyer? I don't.
don't have
know.
one.
Well, it's
Yeah,
based
you
on a.
don't.
There ain't no legal threshold because they didn't know how many. They're going to predict that number? No, they just do it. And if they want to, they will. And if they don't want to, they won't. That's why it's up to us to just ignore the shit out of them when they say stupid shit like that.
Legal precedent. Why should every single individual person just get to decide, I think it's this? I'm not a lawyer.
This is so ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous, Andrew.
Okay.
What is
Shall
the
we,
point of
switch
asking
prompts?
me a
Shall we,
legal
let's switch prompts.
definition when I'm not a lawyer?
What do you guys think about this one? Black people can be racist towards white people. Would you guys like to do
Yeah,
that
I'm
one?
fine with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that before we move on, should we define racism?
Yeah.
How do you
The
define
semantics?
racism? Yeah, we should just get the semantics out of the way so we can actually have a conversation. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
so-
it
It's
keeps
okay, you're fine.
annoying me.
So I would do I have a more classical definition,
Okay, let's hear it.
which would be the hatred or bigotry of an entire race.
Is that it? Hold on. So the hatred or bigotry of an entire race on the basis of what? Race?
Or most of the race.
On the basis of race, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's your only definition of racism?
Yeah, I think that, yes.
Okay, cool. Do you mind if I
Prejudice plus power. I know that's what's coming. I didn't see this part because I fell asleep.
pull up the dictionary definition of racism?
Well, you can pull up whatever you want, sure.
Okay, well, so I think there's two main types of racism that are involved in what you just said.
True racism and made up racism the left did so that black people can't be responsible for anything. That's what she's going to talk about here.
So what Andrew just described perfectly was interpersonal racism, which is prejudice, discriminatory actions between individuals based on their hatred of the entire race. And then there's also what we see in this country, which is systemic and structural racism, which is, again,
Also known as bullshit made up racism.
and since we have to define systems, a complex system of laws, policies, and practices that create and perpetuate racial inequality. So this would be essentially the patriarchy, but on the basis of race, if we're going back to our definition of the patriarchy. Now,
She cannot name a single law that black people have a right that white people, or white people have a right that black people don't. She can't name a single one. So I don't really know what this little second definition even means. I was shocked she didn't say prejudice plus power bullshit. They might have gotten past that now. I don't know yet. We'll see.
where I agree with Andrew is that anyone can be interpersonally racist.
Okay, well, then that's the end of that prompt.
No, it's not, because there are multiple forms of racism.
What's the prompt,
And
Mariah?
the power.
Read the prompt.
Blacks can be racist towards white. I mean, dude, we agreed on the last prompt and we still talked about it for like another hour. So let's get into it.
Well,
I mean,
hang on. I just want to make sure
Yes.
that can you read the prompt, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah, black people can be racist.
And you're
towards white
agreeing that
people.
that's the case?
I just read that.
Okay.
Yes.
Shall we move to a different prompt? then?
No, I think we should continue.
Why would you keep arguing? You just conceded that the prompt is over. That's what they were trying to talk about. He just won. You just conceded in the first 20 seconds of that prompt. So I don't know what you would argue about. That prompt over.
This one, I actually
Victory.
If you
really
both
wanna-
agree, then.
It was the one that I thought was the most interesting. I mean,
So you
I
want to
guess,
talk
all
about
right.
systemic racism? We can.
I guess
Go
if
ahead.
you don't want to move on, if you want to move on to another prompt, we can. But all I will say is, although blacks can be racist towards whites, the system that perpetuates inequality works in favor of white people. So while yes,
In what way? Name a way.
it might hurt your feelings, it doesn't
You can't say redlining because y'all do it too.
have a broader impact on your life, like genuinely decreasing your quality of life and standard of living. It's not backed by any power.
Why don't I read some of the other prompts? And if you want to return to this one, we can.
Okay.
So we have feminism enslaved women instead of liberating them.
That one I think
Women-
is hilarious. I would be done with that one.
Women just as violent as men, if not more. Problems with democracy. Forced doctrine, the descriptor.
Let's do women more violent.
Do you-
Okay.
It sounded like you wanted the feminism
I'll do
enslaved
either one of
women,
those.
but-
I like both of
Okay,
them.
so we'll do. Let's do feminism enslaved women instead of liberating them.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you really keen on the?
I don't care
women
either
just-
way.
Okay,
Neither
we'll
one
do
matters.
both.
But I would it's 5:30. Just real quick, take a smoke break and then get back to this while you take some super chats.
I'm team.
Yeah.
The one thing that we
do
can agree on today is
This looks like a good spot for me to cut it. I think I'm gonna end the my little breakdown of this video. Maybe I might put the end part because I did see that Jake did come at the very end, but I was like I said, I was I was out of it, in and out of sleep. So I'll try. I might even put it in his video that I got working out because I'm gonna like I said, I'm working on a video on Rattlesnake Jake because I'm starting to become a big fan of Rattlesnake Jake. If he doesn't turn into a Zionist, I might stick around for him for a while. It doesn't look like he's gonna from what I've been seeing. So I'm really excited about that. There we go. All right. But tomorrow I'll have something new and exciting for y'all. Check it out. Tell your friends. Peace.